It's showtime, folks.
Absolute cinema, baby. Absolute cinema. You just got franked. The Ducks just got it Frank's way, baby. And you just got terminated by the Donatonator, Ryan Donato. Hell yeah, baby. Hawks win. 2-1 overtime victory. Hawks and Bears win on the same day, yet again. Within a week, within 7 days, we've seen a day of a Hawks win and a Bears win. Does it get any better than that? Dare I say Chicago sports is so back. Has Chicago sports ever been more barack than it is right now? The We're Back department is so filing a claim as we speak. We are cooking, baby. We are absolutely cooking. This squad is 3-2-2. We're above 500 7 games in the year. We just finished a 6th game. This was the 7th game of the year. And we take the dub in overtime. We make up for that overtime loss against Vancouver. The boys had a bad taste in their mouths tonight, and they were able to get the dub. It wasn't their best play game. It was not their best play game. Honestly, for most of this game, they didn't play well. Like, for most of this game, I was thinking, this is probably our worst game of the year. But you know what good teams do? They find a way. They find a way even when it's not their night. You know whose night it was, though? Spencer Knight, baby. The Dark Knight. Gotham's vigilante himself, Spencer Knight, was an absolute beast in net tonight. He was like the Geico seal or Walrus, whatever the hell it's called. You know that commercial back in the day. Nothing could get past Spencer Knight. The shutout was ruined, but no, he was absolutely fantastic. I believe 38 saves on 39 shots and number one star of the game. Number one star of the game. It's not even close. He was the Hawks' most important player. He won us this game, right? Like this is not a win without Spencer Knight. He's been so good. Like he's not had a bad game. I mean, I wonder what his numbers are now. Actually, I'm going to check and see what his numbers are now because he's been utterly phenomenal to start this season. Absolutely phenomenal. Been fantastic in that. I'll find those full stats later. That's something to find later. But yeah, before the game, I know he had a 220 goals against, 920 save percentage around that, and this game's only going to prove those numbers. So he has been, every bit as expected. Signing that contract, right? And he's absolutely looked like a starting goaltender in the NHL. This is his first year being a true starter in the NHL, right? He's been a backup, for many years in Florida. He was the backup under Bob Bobrovsky in Florida. So now it's the first year he actually gets a start. He started, a bit when the Hawks acquired him last year at the trade deadline for Seth Jones. We will not speak his name, but so he got some starts there in March, April. But over the course of a full season, he's never been a starter. That's different this year, right? And so far to start the year, fresh contract extension, fresh bag, and he's been. You could argue he's been the Hawks MVP. You could argue he's been the Hawks MVP. He's up there, top 3 for sure. I'd say him, Bedsy, Nazar, probably that's your top 3 right there. Frank the Tank, that's another guy, man. I mean, what a game for him. Honestly, for most of this game, he was a little quieter, but third period onwards, he was Frank the Tank. Big goal to score there at the end. Thought it, for a moment, it looked like it might be the only goal of the game. This was definitely not a game of offensive fireworks. I thought it would be in the pregame. I had a feeling this was going to be a back and forth affair. It was a back and forth affair, but it was a defensive back and forth affair. There was not a lot of offense in this game to speak of whatsoever. But no, Frank the Tank gets us on the board there in the third period. Just the effort of that play, the effort there in the blue line, right, to get the puck up to, what was it, Donato, then got to Kaiser, then back to Frank. Kaiser had the shot, and then Frank had the assist, or not the assist. Frank had the rebound there, I should say. So just a garbage goal, but you'll take that. And what a photo afterward. Frank Nazar always has these iconic sellies, man. He had this little pose after with the smoke billowing out of the goal horn. Hang that shit in the Louvre. Hang that in the Louvre, man. Hang that in the Chicago Art Museum somewhere. That picture's got to be hung somewhere because that is a beauty, an absolute beauty. Which Frank the Tank, should we be surprised? That man is the CEO of Aura. He's the CEO of Mastery. I mean, he's just him, man. Frank the Tank is him. 7 points in 7 games. You know who else has 7 points in 7 games? Connor Bedard. What a game from Bedsy. Only the 1 assist, but this was probably his best game of the year. He shot, let's see how many shots did he have tonight? Yeah, he must have had 6 or 7 shots around there. He was cooking today. I mean, no goals, but he was absolutely phenomenal. Let's see how many shots. He had 9 shots on goal. Bedard had 9 shots on goal. 9. He was just firing it all night, man. He had that shot first mentality. He deserved a goal tonight. He really deserved a goal. Just wasn't quite able to bury one, but you could tell he just had a pump in his step, a jump in his step all night. He was feeling it. He was being more selfish. I like that for Bedsy. I want to see him be more selfish, right? I don't always want to see him be pass first. If the shot is there, take the shot. You have one of the best shots in the league. Don't be afraid to use it. Don't be afraid to use that wrister. Don't be afraid to use that toe drag release that you spend hours practicing on, right? Nobody could shoot like that, or at least it's a very, not many people can shoot like that, especially the way he does it. So, love seeing that for Bedsy. You're right over there. I need to get a Frank poster. I need to get a Frank one right there, right? So that way we got Bedsy, then we got Frank, and then we got the past, the nostalgia merchants behind us. Hooah! We got the 2013 Hawks there, and the way the Hawks have started this year, man, I don't know. Those days might not be as far. They might not be as far away as we think. I know I'm being delusional. We're in October. I shouldn't be deluding myself. But hey, October is full of canon moments. I think a canon moment is this Blackhawks team. The realization that, man, this team's future is bright. I've known this. A lot of the hardcore Hawks fans have known this. A lot of the Hawks fans who are coming back on the more casual side, they didn't know that. And, they're realizing it now. I think the whole city's realizing it now, just how bright this team's future is. The Hawks and the Bears. Big dub for the Bears today, which you love to see. 26-14 win over the Saints. That was not a pretty win by any means. Again, both wins weren't very pretty. I wouldn't say the Hawks or Bears are particularly amazing in either games, but they came away with the dub. You got to come away with those ugly wins, right? That's what you got to do. Good teams find a way even when that's not their night. So you love to see that. You absolutely love to see that. But yeah, back to the game at hand. The Hawks nearly won this one, courtesy of only needing one goal. But Wyatt Kaiser did have a delay of game penalty with, I believe, less than 2 minutes left in the game. So I hated to see that. But when I saw that happen, I'm like, yeah, the Ducks are definitely going to tie this up and force it overtime. The Chicago Blackhawks team just cannot seem to avoid overtimes and shootouts, extra innings, right? They just can't end games of regulation. So it's never going to come easy. It's never going to come easy. Every win for this team, you always got to earn it. But hey, that's good. You're forming those good habits, right? The more you've kind of faced those clutch situations, the more it's going to pay off down the road. So if anything, I think that's a positive. So, it's a learning mistake. It happens. Kaiser's been good too. I'm not going to flame him for it, right? Just trying to get the puck out, puck rolled, on a stick, and off the ice there. It happens, right? With those clears, it happens. So the Ducks are putting the pressure on late. So that stuff's going to happen occasionally. So, and then Mason McTavish for the Ducks gets him on the board and forces overtime. Mason McTavish, the man who signed a 6-year by $7 million contract in the offseason, and he got the Ducks on the board in this one. So, and the assist from Terry and Jackson Lacombe. So, you hated to see that. But, especially going to overtime, a game being forced late. It's not the first time we've seen that, right? We saw that in Vancouver as well. My God, don't let this be Vancouver again. Don't let us knock away with 2 points. Because 1 point, it would have been frustrating, right? It would have been frustrating. Almost felt like a bit of a reverse, though, where I think the Vancouver game, where the better team came away with 1 point. I would say the Ducks are probably the better team tonight, but we came away with both, right? That's hockey, right? The better team doesn't always win every night, right? So that's the way it is. It's a game of luck. It's a game of chance. I think the Hawks took advantage of that today. And getting that overtime there, Donato had the goal, but it was really Bedsy who made that happen. He made that play happen. Just a second effort by him. Obviously, he had the initial shot on goal there, right? The initial chance. Then he gets the puck behind the net in Gretzky's office, right? And he sets up Donato in a T really nicely there, and then Donato buries it. So Donato's been cooking. What is that? Goals in 3 straight games for him, I believe. So Donato took a little while to get going this season. He's cooking now. If it's not delivery, it's Ryan Donato. So this is looking like the 30-goal, 30-assist, 60-point Donato from last year, which is great to see, right? You want to see Donato playing like that. So you love to see that, absolutely. And Renzel got an assist there too. Was that 3 points for him now? So good to see Renzel get in the action. He's been good in the overtimes, man. His speed, right? He could really quarterback the action there. So impressive what I'm seeing off him. I think he's getting better and better with each passing game. So you love to see that. 3 stars, I would say. My 3 stars would definitely be Spencer Knight. Donato's got to be one, and then Frank. That's your big 3 tonight. I don't mention the Bedsy, right? Didn't have the production today besides the 1 assist, but I still thought he was absolutely fantastic. And Frank Nazar, man, he's just so clutch. Frank the Tank is so clutch. Even in games you don't really notice him a ton, he'll find a way to make an impact, and he did a big one today. God, I love that guy, man. I could glaze Frank Nazar all day. That's why I'm wearing the 91 Frank Nazar Winter Classic jersey, baby. Oh, yeah. I could just feel the aura radiating off my body with Frank the Tank. Oh, my goodness, man. It's just this euphoric moment with Frank the Tank. Frank and Bedsy just absolutely cooking, man. Absolutely cooking, leading the team to 7 points apiece. Those are the guys you want to see leading the charge, and they're doing it, man. They're doing it. And they have support this year. They have support. They have help. They don't have to do it alone, right? And that's the thing. It's not just the Hawks who has a lot of positivity. Look at Rockford, man. Look at the Ice Dogs right now. Look at the Ice Dogs. Nick Lourdes, I believe he had a 4-point game today. He now leads the entire AHL production. And Oliver Moore's right up there, too. How long are those two going to be down there? Because the way that Nick Lourdes and Oliver Moore are looking in Rockford, I'm not sure they're going to need a ton of time down there, to be honest with you, especially Oliver Moore. I think if you look at what Frank Nazar did last year, I think you can expect that of Oliver Moore this year. He's going to be on this team before we know it. I predict he's going to be on this team before the calendar year is out. And in fact, I think he'll be on this team before Frank Nazar was last year. So what, by December? Yeah, I'll say by December. If anything, November. Lourdes might need more time. He's more raw, right? Pause. He might need more time to refine his game, but we'll work on the complete details, right? He hasn't had that 9-game stint in the NHL that Oliver Moore had last year, so it's going to take him more time. But I think both of those guys, man, you insert those guys in this Hawks team right now, holy jump, and we got something special here. We got something special. It's just, man. And, by the way, too, I did critique Jeff Blashill for the line blender, but hey, every time Jeff Blashill has used the line blender, it's actually worked. With Richardson and Sorensen, you just never really understood the logic behind the decisions, but it's worked every time with Blashill. So far, so good, man. I've been very impressed with him so far. Love how animated he is on the bench. He actually argues plays. He seems to have command of the room. The systems are there. Just like the all-around game for everybody. Good habits will lead to results. I think you're seeing that, especially with Beds. His defensive game's been so much better so far this year, right? I saw a stat where he ranks with takeaways, and giveaways compared to last year. He's already made so much progress to that standpoint. He's winning more puck battles, a lot more puck battles. So he's getting better from the all-around aspect of the game, which you love to see. So I think you're seeing it for a lot of these Hawks guys, right? Even the young defenders back there especially, right? So still a lot of room for growth, still a lot of room for improvement. But hey, I'm not going to complain. On a day where we probably shouldn't have got 2 points, we got 2 points anyway. And you'll have to see that. How much consecutive games did I have a point now, right? Because we got 2 today, got 1 versus Vancouver. We got 2 versus St. Louis, 2 versus Utah. What was the game before Utah? That was the Montreal game. We lost with 15 seconds left. So if my math is correct, what is that? 5 straight games to a point or something, I think. Don't quote me on that. 4 straight games, something like that. Yeah, math was never my strong suit, and in my scholarly years. So it's possible I was incorrect in my assessment there. But anyway, that's what that is. One negative, power play was 0 for 3. Still working the power play right. It's definitely been inconsistent to start the year. I want to say it's down there. So PK was good, 4 for 5, right? I'm not going to complain with the PK. Except for that late goal there from McTavish, but what are you going to do about that? That was a 6-on-4, so the Ducks, if they didn't score on that, that would have been kind of embarrassing. So yeah, I'm not going to tweak about that too much. That's what it is. I'm not going to tweak about that too much. Yeah, what else do I got here? What else do I have? And then also, good to get a dub. Obviously, Coach Q returning back to Chicago, right? So you like to get a win in front of him. I'm sure he's pissed he didn't get the win, right? I'm sure that Ducks team wanted to get a win for Coach Q. So good to see him back at the UC, I believe, for the first time in 5 years, something like that. So, but yeah, wasn't quite able to get the dub. So, but no, overall, good to see Coach Q back behind the bench, even though it's not the Hawks. Again, it's still weird seeing Coach Q back there. In 2015, me would have never imagined Coach Q being an Anaheim Ducks coach. But hey, that's the way the world works in mysterious ways, right? You just never know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I think in terms of this game, that's probably all I got. Soak this one in. We better soak this one in because the Hawks don't play again until Thursday, which I really don't understand that. Utter woke nonsense. We don't play. Wait a minute. Oh, we play Tuesday. I'm stupid. I better change that. No, never mind. I'm looking at the Ducks. Never mind. Give me 1 second. Let me find the Hawks. Why was I looking at the Ducks schedule? That's silly. No, I want to look at the Hawks schedule, NHL app. I never even clicked on the Ducks. Why is it taking me to the Ducks? The NHL app is so dumb, man. I did not click on them. The Hawks are my favorite team. I favorite them. So why would you show me the Ducks schedule? Dummies. All right, I was right. The Hawks don't play again until Thursday, the 23rd versus Tampa. So 3 days without Hawks hockey, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I guess that finally means I have an excuse to release a video that's not just a pre or post game. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I haven't done it yet. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. If it's going to be a Q&A type vid, like a yapping vid, or just something concentrated on one topic. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet. But between now and Thursday, there'll be something out, right? I'll release something that's different, that's unique, that's not the same format over and over, right? You got to keep it fresh, right? So look forward to that in between now and then. We'll get that out there for you. But no, overall, absolute cinema game. I have nothing. I could go on forever here, but you know what? I think we've kind of reached our due date here, right? Because let's be honest, for most of this game, it wasn't really an interesting game. It was one of the games of all time, right? It really wasn't until the third period onward it got interesting. First 2 periods I didn't really talk about because nothing really happened. It was a whole bunch of nothing. So it's really nothing to analyze there. No goals, as UC Saros would say. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Hawks 2-1 dub. Courtesy of Ryan Donato, Frank Nazar, and co. You love to see it, and Spencer Knight. And we'll be back Thursday for pre- and post games and release content between then. But anyway, that'll do it for now. Thank you for watching this video. don't be afraid to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Share it around with a friend, a family member, whoever, a significant person, whoever you want to share it with. I really appreciate it a ton. I believe we're at 430 subs, something like that. So we're closing in 500, man. We're closing in 500. I'd love to get to 500 by Halloween. If we could do that, I think that'd be amazing. I'd love that. So thank you very much. And we will see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye. B-Hawks out.